Could the Oklahoma Sooners finally be getting their first defensive line commit in the 2024 recruiting class in Xadavien Sims? What else are they potentially looking at? Who are they in the running? And guys, we are here to talk about it because we've been talking about some specific 5 stars. I think Oklahoma is potentially going to land a different 5-star that not a lot of people are talking about. So we're going to dive into it. Stay tuned for the whole thing. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, jump down in the comments below. Talk to me. What do you guys think? Does Xadavien Sims become an Oklahoma Sooner? So, Xadavien Sims, the 6'3", 275-pound defensive lineman out of Durant, Oklahoma, the currently 194 ranked player in the 247 composite, a player that has gotten over 22 offers across the land from the likes of a TCU and an Oregon, a Vanderbilt. I say Vanderbilt because a Vanderbilt comes into the University of, or why wouldn't I say the university, the state of Oklahoma, and tries to take our kids all the time. But a Vanderbilt, a Michigan State, who a lot of people believe it was probably trending that direction for a long time. But we'll talk about that here in a second. Oregon, Colorado, Miami, Nebraska, Texas, Texas A&M, Ole Miss, and more. But Xadavien Sims is sounding like this is going to become a Oregon-Oklahoma battle from everything that we're hearing from every which way. But I will say this, the Michigan State thing gave everybody a scare for quite a while. Same thing we talked about with David Stone. Marco Coleman is no longer there at Michigan State. Listen, when it comes to what's been going on, Michigan State has had, I'm not going to say an exodus with their coaches, but they've had quite a few coaches leave, which is going to end up hurting recruiting maybe at some level. It's going to depend on how Mel Tucker, how involved he's been in some of these recruitments. But I think ultimately Oklahoma or Oregon, either one of those teams are going to win out. Stay tuned for that in just a minute. But Xadavien Sims, a guy that is going to be able to come into the University of Oklahoma, probably play a little bit of nose tackle. He would probably have to get up to a little over 300 pounds. But you can imagine being in a Schmitty program, being on a team with Todd Bates, Miguel Chavis, they're going to figure out exactly where he will excel the most. And they're going to be able to build his body up to play that position if that's where their hearts so desire to put him. But Xadavien Sims is a guy that Oklahoma absolutely has to win. And it's not because he's just got good height, he's got a good frame. It's because he's a guy that is in state and he's a top 200 player in the state of Oklahoma. Well, in the state that you got to be able to keep. That's really what it comes down to. And so when you look at what Xadavien Sims is going to be able to bring to the University of Oklahoma, like I talked about, with his size, with his frame, and his length, right? He's going to be able to help get to the quarterback, maybe help collapse that pocket a little bit, but be able to cause commotion in the backfield quite a bit. And you know what? Like I said, if he's able to add on just a little bit of size, Xadavien Sims is a guy that could end up playing that nose tackle for the University of Oklahoma. But as we've talked about multiple times with what Brent Venables and the staff is looking for, listen, they are looking for athletic guys, and that's what Xadavien Sims is. Shot put and discus. I believe I heard he has ran track before, but don't hold me to that. If you put a gun to my head, I would not say that for an absolute fact. But Xadavien Sims currently has an official visit set up for Vanderbilt. And from all rumors and indications, I believe I heard this on OU Insider. I did not get a chance to listen to their full podcast on Monday night, but it sounds like he's going to be at the Champ U barbecue. So that's going to be interesting because if he's committed before then, he's going to be able to really help recruit that defensive line, assuming that, David Stone's not committed by that time. I don't expect David Stone to be committed by that time. I don't think anybody expect David Stone to be committed by that time, but to each his own. So May 20th, that is the decision date for Xadavien Sims. What's it going to look like if the Oklahoma Sooners land Sims? We'd put him at a 139.11 composite score with 7 commits going into the month of June, which, hey, that looks really good if you're the Oklahoma Sooners. He'd be the third highest ranked player in this class as it sits. Xadavien Sims would put Oklahoma at about number 21 if he committed today and you were looking at, hey, where would OU jump in the rankings? They'd put him at number 21, right behind Alabama, who actually is shocking, only has 6 commits, but has 3 5-stars and is ranked at number 20. So they'd be at number 21, 139.11, right behind Alabama, where their composite score is 145.45. So you'd have to make quite a bit of a jump at this point in the composite rankings to be able to be in the top 20, but scratching the surface to be right there. Now, as we talked about with David Stone, the potential for Oklahoma to go out here and land a stellar class on the defensive line, it's there. It's all there, all the juice, everything. So the first one is look at Dominic McKinley, the 5-star defensive lineman. See, my brain, I almost lost it there. The 5-star defensive lineman. If Oklahoma is in as good a position as everybody is saying he is with Oklahoma, and they're able to close the gap on Dominic McKinley, we could be talking 3 5-star defensive linemen in this class, realistically. Because on the 16th, you have David Stone and Williams Nwaneri going to be on campus as well. And you're likely going to probably close on both Williams Nwaneri and David Stone. So if you land a guy like Dominic McKinley, you're realistically probably landing 3 5-stars, which that gives you 4 defensive linemen, and you would imagine the 5th one's going to probably come down between Nigel Smith or Joseph Jonah Ajonye, whoever can get to that spot first. And then on the edge position is a guy that I have talked about quite a bit this year on several podcasts. I've been called crazy, but Zina Yumi Oezulu, a number 113th ranked player in terms of the 247 composite from Allen, Texas, former teammates with Michael Hawkins and Devon Mitchell, who a lot of people believe Devon Mitchell will be in this class as well. Here's the deal. If Devon Mitchell reclassifies, that could be another 5-star for Oklahoma, but that's not the 5-star that we were talking about at the beginning of this video. And that 5-star kid could potentially be Taylor Tatum. Right now, currently ranked number 33 in the 247 composite rankings. Remember, the 247 composite rankings is pulling from all the websites, and they kind of average themselves out. Taylor Tatum, number 33, scratching the surface. One more spot, he's a 5-star. And you know what? If he continues to have a strong senior season, hey, you could be looking at a guy that maybe could be in the top 30 players in the country in this class. So not only could you be looking at Williams Nwaneri, David Stone, Dominic McKinley, you could be looking at Sammy Brown, the 5-star linebacker, Bryant Wesco, Devon Mitchell, Taylor Tatum. If you're the Sooners, let's say you don't land Sammy Brown, that's still 6 5-stars in this class. You'd be loading up on the defensive line. Definitely going to be interesting. We're going to have to keep our eyes on it because, listen, just outside of 5-star talent, if you go look at the 4-stars on the offensive line that Oklahoma could get that are wanted by other teams across the country, talking to Bennett Warren, he's got his official visit set for University of Oklahoma. I'm not sure if it's public, so we're not going to give the date just yet. You've got Casey Poe, who is going to be here on July 28th. That's exciting. However, Georgia, watch out for Georgia. Now that they have Dylan Raiola, will that influence Casey Poe's decision? I think it's still going to be Oklahoma, but if there's any team that I would keep an eye on to make a huge push for Casey Poe late, it's going to be the Georgia Bulldogs, but right now it's still a Bama-Oklahoma battle. But you look up and down the list, listen, Oklahoma has got an opportunity to make this the best class in history and potentially try to go for a top 3 class in the country. It's definitely possible. It's going to be hard to beat Alabama because Alabama's already got 3 5-stars with only 6 commits. So, guys, go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know what y'all's thoughts are. Do you think the Oklahoma Sooners land Xadavien Sims on May 20th?